Welcome students. So in the process of receivables management, we are talking about the distribution channel, and in the distribution channel, to understand whether we should go for the direct marketing or we should go for the indirect marketing, what channel of distribution we should select and we should say work with, that let us understand with the help of an example, that if we go for the direct marketing, how it is going to benefit us, and if we go for the indirect marketing, how it is going to benefit the company, because ultimate objective of the company is to maximize the ROI, return on investment, and where the ROI is maximized, that should be the preferred mode of distribution or channel of distribution of company's products in the market. So we will have to evaluate the two different channels, and let us see that if a company goes for the direct marketing, what will happen, and a company goes for the indirect marketing, what will happen. So we have a situation like, we have information here that there is a company which is manufacturing about, say, how much units, number of units they are manufacturing in the market in a given period of time, or maybe in a year, is 360, right, and investment which the company has made, that is in the manufacturing assets. Investment in manufacturing assets the company has made is, that is, say we assume the smaller figure, 20,000 rupees, and company is manufacturing 360 units in a year, and in this case the cost of production, when you talk about the cost of production per unit is, cost of production is rupees 100 per unit, and the selling price which the company can fetch from the market, or the company can sell the product in the market, is, that is rupees 150, right. Now there are two channels possible. Company can go for the indirect marketing also, or company can go for the direct marketing also. Now if the company goes for the indirect marketing, it means that if the company prefers to sell its product in the market through indirect channels, or say through indirect marketing channels, so there is a possibility that company can sell the product in the market at 10% trade discount. Company can give the 10% trade discount on selling price to a distributor or to a retailer, and the product can go to the market. This is at the 10% trade discount the company can sell the product, and the credit period which the company has to give in this case is, credit period will be 2 months. Company has to give the credit period of 2 months, right. So at the 10% trade discount the product can be sold in the market, and credit period has to be given is 2 months. This is the information available. If we go for the indirect marketing or selling the product in the market, entire production can go to the market at a 10% trade discount to be given to the channel, and then he would be requesting for a credit period of the 2 months. There is another method also, that direct marketing. If companies prefer to go for a direct marketing, they can have their own exclusive marketing stores or sales stores. In that case, what they have to do is, they have to make the further investment. One investment they have made here is the investment in the manufacturing assets, 20,000 rupees, and they have to make the further investment under the investment in marketing assets. Maybe they have to make investment in the stores, or maybe creating the network, it has a cost, and that investment is to be rupees 4,000, which is additional investment. This investment will be the, you can say it is the capital investment, and additional marketing overheads, which is on the recurring basis. Marketing overheads will be how much? Rupees 3,000 they have to incur. Additional cost of, say, marketing overheads will be 3,000, but credit period will come down to 1 month. Credit period will come down to 1 month. So here we are selling the product, selling price is 150, which is decided by the market, our cost is 100, and when we are selling it through indirect marketing, we are giving the product at 135 rupees to the channel, and channel is selling further the product in the market, and the credit period which the channel is asking for is 2 months. If you go for the direct marketing, the product will go to the market at 150 rupees, and we have to make some additional investment in the marketing assets also, and some marketing overheads we have to incur, which is 4,000 and 3,000, but the major advantage of that is that credit period will be half, that will come down to 1 month. Here one important information which I am not sharing with you is, I will add up later on, that is the cost of say getting the market information or the credit information or the customer's information. That cost is we have to consider it later on, but let us see, evaluate this situation. Now first of all, we go for the say indirect marketing. When we go for the indirect marketing, this channel if we are selecting, so what will happen? What is the market price? Market price per unit is rupees 150, and how much is the trade discount? Less. Trade discount we are giving at the rate of 10%. So that will be how much? That will be somewhere 15 rupees. So it means the finally net sales price will be how much? Net selling price will be how much? That is 135 rupees. And what is the cost of the product? Less. Cost per unit, cost of the product or the cost of production per unit is 100 rupees. So it means you have how much? The operating profit per unit is, operating profit per unit is, operating profit per unit is rupees 35. Operating profit per unit is 35, right? This is the operating profit available. And how much is the operating profit on 360 units? Operating profit on total production or total output. This is how much? This is 360 units multiplied by rupees 35. This works out as how much? This is say rupees 12,600, right? This much of the operating profit on the total annual sales is available to the company. Now we go to the other part of the other side of the story, that how much investment is required to be made in this case or in this channel of distribution. If you want to go for the investment, counting for the investment, so it means here investment in the manufacturing assets. Investment in the manufacturing assets is how much? Rupees 20,000. We have to make the investment of 20,000 which we have shown here. This investment of 20,000 we have to make in the manufacturing assets. That is going to remain the same in both the channels, direct or indirect, one. And then what is going to be the additional investment here? Additional investment we are making here is, that is on account of the investment in accounts receivables or sundry debtors. That is going to be how much? That is going to be something like 360 into 135 into say how many months? 2 months. 2 by 12. If you think this is going to be the investment here, so this will work out as how much? 8,100. So total investment will be how much? If you take the figure of the total investment is going to be, in this case is 28,100, right? Now let us calculate the return on investment. So it means if you calculate the ROI, let us see the ROI here, return on investment, that will be how much? Our profit is 12,600 and our investment is 28,100. So the return on investment for the company is how much? If you calculate this, this works out as 44.884% multiplied by 100. So this is 44.84% if we are going to sell the product in the market through the indirect channel, where we are going to manufacture the say market price or maybe the selling price per unit is 50. You can write it as the selling price also. So selling price per unit is going to be something, and then we have to, this is the selling price per unit is 150 trade discount is 15 given to the channel. So net price for the company is 135. Cost of production of the company we have already assumed is 100. So operating profit per unit is 35. Operating profit on the total output is 360 into 35 is 12,600. Now let us talk about the investment. When we worked out the investment, two investments are required to be made: investment in the manufacturing asset, investment in the accounts receivables. So when you compare the operating profit with the investment, we arrive at a conclusion that the total investment we are going to make here is, that is of say 28,100, and the operating profit or ROI available is 44.84%. This is the one part of the analysis or the calculation. Now let us evaluate the second channel, that is the direct marketing. If company goes direct marketing channel, right, direct marketing channel, if the company goes for, again take the selling price per unit, that is rupees how much, 150, right, and less cost. Selling price is 150, and here now we will be called as less cost. Now the cost will become cost of say or you can say call it as cost per unit. Here the cost per unit is cost per unit. It means we are not talking about now the cost of production, we are talking about that earlier the 15 rupees difference which was going to the say distribution network, now it is being retained by the company. So we are assuming that remaining amount, that 135 is the cost per unit, and that is 135. So it means return per unit is, extra return per unit is how much? Return per unit is rupees 15. Return per unit is 15, and how much is the gross return? Gross return is going to be 360 units into 15. So that is going to be something like 5,400 rupees. Here, but when we see that when we go for the direct marketing, we have to make an investment in the revenue or in the recurring expenses also. So add, or we would say here gross return is 5,400, but here now we will have to make, say our cost will increase. So in this case what we will do here, we are going to incur some additional expenses on the marketing overheads. So you have to subtract that, less marketing overheads. And if you subtract the marketing overheads of how much, 3,000 rupees. So your returns, capital say operating profit becomes how much? Operating profit is 2,400. We are left with 2,400 rupees. Now we talk about the investment part. Investment part, how much investment we are going to make. So let us talk about that part, investment part. And if you see the investment in case of the direct channel, how much investment we are making? Investment. We are not talking about the manufacturing investment that is already made, that is common in both the channels. 20,000 rupees we are not talking about. When we are going to sell directly in the market, what additional investment we are going to make here, and that will be say capital investment. First thing is the capital investment in the marketing assets. How much that investment? We have assumed that we are going to spend extra 4,000 rupees to create the marketing assets or the exclusive stores. And second investment here is going to be how much? That is investment in the receivables. Accounts receivables are going to be how much? They are going to come down. They are going to come down to 1 month from the 2 months. So it means that will be how much? That is 150 rupees. Selling price is 150, mind it now, and this is 360 number of units divided by 12. So this will come down, and this will become as how much? 4,500 rupees. So it means how much is the total investment both in the marketing assets and in the accounts receivables? Total investment is going to be, total investment is 8,500. This is the investment here. So now let us calculate the ROI. If you calculate the ROI in this case, we have found the ROI here is 2400 and divided by 8500 into 100. So, this is how much is 28.24%. This is 28.24%, this is the new rate of return. So, now if you compare from this information only, if you compare the two channels, we find that direct marketing is less productive or less profitable as compared to the indirect marketing, where we have the ROI which is much higher, that is 44.84%. So, I think we should go for the indirect marketing, but the decision does not come here. We will have to go for the further analysis also. Say for example, the important benefit which I have discussed with you is that the major benefit of the direct marketing is that is the cost of the credit information, or you can talk it about that is the cost of the say market information. When you talk about the cost of the credit information or the market information, in that case when we are directly selling in the market, the information about company's product, about the customer's requirement, about any kind of the changes in the product design, quality, price, or any kind of the customer choices, they are directly available to us, right. We need not to spend anything extra on that. But when we sell indirectly in the market, then what happens? We are manufacturing, somebody else is selling in the market, and customer is at the third level. So, when the customer wants to communicate anything to the company has to depend upon somebody, either the distribution network, and since distribution network is selling the products of many companies, same product of many companies, so it means sometimes the correct information reaches to some companies, sometimes the correct information does not reach to the companies. So, in that case they have to spend some extra money. Companies who are selling their products in the market, they have through indirect channels, they have to shell out extra money to get the customer information. Regularly companies keep on conducting the customer surveys or the market surveys, and their specialized companies, specialized firms are there who are into the marketing research, and companies depend upon them, and they have to spend lot of money in say getting that desired information for making their product as the best acceptable product in the market. So, in our analysis we make some changes, and we see that, for example, when we are going for the we talk about the cost of market information, when you talk about the cost of market information which includes the credit information also. In case of the indirect marketing, the cost is say rupees 1800, right, and in case of the direct marketing, the cost comes down to 300 rupees. That cost is still there, but not very high. So, there is a clear cut difference of how much? Rupees 1500 in both the modes. So, when we are going for the direct marketing, we are saving how much money? That is 1500 rupees we are going to save upon. So, that will be adding upon the return on investment of the company. So, here how much we have earned here? This operating profit is 2400. So, in this 2400 rupees, in case of direct marketing, if you are going to add this 2400 rupees into this 1500 also, so this is becoming how much? 3900, and it is 3900. Now, if you compare this, that is 3900 is the operating profit against the 8500. So, finally I think what is going to be the return? The return is going to cross a limit now, and this will be now 45.88% or almost 46%. So, now this is becoming 45.88%, and in case of the indirect marketing it was 44.84%. So, it means we are saying that it is better for us to go for the direct marketing and not to depend upon the indirect marketing. But in this case, when we are talking about the indirect marketing, this return is not 44.84%, because we have missed out one point here, that see, when we are selling through two channels, maybe direct or indirect marketing, what is happening here, that say amount of accounts receivables, we have accounts receivables equal to 1 month sales in case of direct marketing, we have accounts receivable equal to 2 months sales in case of indirect marketing. That is the only difference. So it means how much investment we are making in the accounts receivable when it is the direct marketing, the investment in the accounts receivable when we are making in the direct marketing, that is the 4,500. So this 4,500 is constant, this is the minimum investment we are making. When we are moving from the direct marketing to indirect marketing, so what investment we are making here, that is 8,100. So what additional investment we are making here? Additional investment we are making here is, that is something like say 8100, this is under indirect marketing, and under the direct marketing how much we were spending, this is the cost of the accounts receivables is, investment in the accounts receivable is 4,500, right. So the difference comes out here is of this additional investment which we are making here is, that is of 4,500 we are already investing under the direct marketing. Here this is the investment into the accounts receivable, yeah, this investment is there. Under this case the investment here is 8,100. So it means out of this, if this is the minimum we are going to make here, how much additional investment in the accounts receivables we are making? This much is the additional investment in the accounts receivables we are making, and this is say 0 0 and then 5, 11 minus 5 is 6, and then it is 7 minus 4 is 3,600. So it means the investment which we are making in the accounts receivables here, additional investment that we are making in the accounts receivable here is, that is only 3,600. So what we will do here is, we will have to subtract that. If we subtract that from 28,100, and then this our investment is how much? Our investment in the accounts receivables is only, we should talk about the additional investment, that is 3,600. So this is 3,600. So it means the difference we are making here is 4,500. So total investment which we have made here is, that is 28,000 minus 3,600. So if you calculate this amount, this will work out as how much? This will work out as 0 0, then it is 5, so then it is 4, so it will work out as 24,500. It is not 20,000 but it is 24,500. So it means how much additional investment we are making here, we have not counted for that. So final investment will be, we have said here that investment we are making in the manufacturing asset is 20,000 and investment in the accounts receivables is 8,100, right. But it is not 8,100, additional investment is, because 4,500 is already made and in the first channel also. So additional investment we are making here is, that is we would call it as not this much but only 3,600. This additional investment we are making. So this amount becomes how much? This amount becomes 23,600. This amount is 23,600. So if you compare now, what is your operating profit? This is same 12,600, and your investment has come down to 23,600. So it means what is now the changed profit? That is 53.39%. 53.39%. And if you compare this return with the return from the direct marketing, that return from the direct marketing was this much, that is return from the direct marketing we have calculated here is 45.88%, and here the return if you calculate is, this is 53.39%. It means we can say indirect marketing is much better as compared to the direct marketing, because of number of reasons, that you have not to make any investment into the marketing asset. So you will be able to save this 4,000 rupees. We are not going to make any investment, we will have not to make any expenses on the marketing overhead, so we can save this 3,000 rupees, right. When we are talking about the accounts receivables level, even under the direct marketing also, accounts receivables level is 4,500 rupees, and in this case in the indirect marketing, when you talk about, we are making the no additional investment, we are passing on the product to the channel, and how much investment we are making in the accounts receivable, that additional investment in the accounts receivable we are making is 3,600 rupees only. And if you talk about this, so manufacturing asset is 20,000 and additional investment in this is 3,600. So it means total investment we are making is 23,600, and from this if you compare the return, that return works out as 53.39%. So it means we have seen here that as it was expected, there are much better results from the indirect marketing as compared to the direct marketing. So we should depend more upon the indirect marketing rather than on the direct marketing, because of many other advantages of the indirect marketing. Because here is a important say major risk we are running into is that say we are building here the marketing assets, though we have assumed it is 4,000, it can be 4 crores or 400 crores or anything. If we built up our own marketing network, our marketing distribution channels, tomorrow if the market changes or if the company loses sales in the market or a company goes out of the market, recently what we have seen is Reebok is now the brand which is no more in existence. So you can think about those stores which were created by Reebok or the say partners of the Reebok, now what is their fate? So that may create a problem. We have made an investment in the marketing assets, but if those marketing assets are or marketing assets become useless, in that case it will be a big problem for the company. Under indirect marketing, there is no such risk, only you have to manufacture and sell in the market through the channels. So there is a problem of the information, but that information can be collected from many other sources also. And there is another point that when we are selling through indirect channels, our receivables or the investment in the accounts receivables increases, but that can be taken care of by many other means, because in the direct marketing also some investment we have to make in the receivables. So we can find out that it is much better to sell indirectly in the market rather than directly in the market. Some people say that which is sometimes considered as a negative part in case of the indirect marketing, that when we go for selling or distributing our product in the market indirectly, the company's destiny is locked in the hands of distribution channels. Company's destiny is locked in the hands of distribution channels. If distribution channels want to support the company, they can support the company. If they don't want to support the company, then there is a problem sometimes. Many times we might have seen when the companies give the incentive to the channels, distribution channels, and when the customers come to the retailers, maybe the first channel which is directly related to the customers, we might have seen or we might have experienced many times that from our place when we go to the market or to the store or to the retailer, we have made up our mind that we will buy this particular product of this company. But when we reach at the store, retailer or the shopkeeper or the store owner or their salesman, they totally change your mind and they say count so much of the properties of the other products in which they are interested to sell or to pass on to the customer against the product which you have already decided in your mind to buy. So because of those reasons, because of those factors, customers' buying preferences change, and if that happens, in that case ultimately it is in the hands of the retailer or the store owner or his sales force that which company's product they want to promote, they can promote, and which company's product they don't want to promote, they cannot or they may not promote. So that kind of the situations are going to be there. So companies handle these situations also by giving extra incentives to the distribution channels, to the distributors, to the wholesalers, to the retailers, so that they motivate the customers or their channels remain motivated so that they can maximize the sales of the companies. That normally happens. And when you talk about the direct marketing and indirect marketing, there are a number of other things also to be considered in mind. One thing is that, say for example, if the companies are selling directly in the market, we have a situation we assume a situation here. For example, there are the 4 manufacturers, right, and there are the 4 customers in the market. Now these 4 manufacturers have to sell their product to the 4 customers in the market. So in this case what will happen? Number of contacts will be how much? Number of contacts or contracts you can say will be how much? That is 4 into 4, that is 16 contacts will be maintained. There have to be the 16 contacts, not contract, but it's contacts we have to maintain. 16 contacts will come up or will be appearing because individual manufacturer, all the 4 manufacturers have to go to the individual 4 customers. 4 companies have to go to the 4 customers, it means 16 contacts will arise. But for example, these 4 manufacturers sell through one distributor or the retailer in the market. So what will happen? All the 4 companies, they can sell their product to one distributor, and all the 4 customers, they can also go to the one distributor. So in this case, number of the contacts will be 4 plus 4, that is 8. So that is again the simplification of the selling process, reaching up to the customer and selling their product in the market. That is also a very positive point. It is major important, or the major benefit of the indirect marketing is the serious saving upon the cost. If you save upon the cost seriously, means if you are going to sell indirectly in the market, and rather than maintaining a full-fledged store, if you are able to sell indirectly with the help of the existing distribution channels, cost of the production, distribution and marketing comes down seriously. And when the cost of any product comes down seriously, price also comes down, and the benefit of that lowered price, lesser price, can be passed on to the consumers. And when you lower down the price, consumer get the product, same kind of the product at the lesser price, then their loyalty towards the company's products increases. Many times you will see that if you want to buy the Nike shoes, and if you go to the retail outlet or the company owned outlet, specialized company owned outlet, exclusive store, you will find the product is expensive, the shoes are expensive. But when you want to buy the same shoes, same Nike shoes from a store which keeps the product of multiple companies or different companies, there you will find the product is at the same, at much lesser rate, and certainly there will be the difference in the price, because in that case the marketing or the distribution overheads of that channel are getting distributed to the different companies and their products, whereas in the exclusive store the entire cost has to be recovered by the store from the customer only. So that is a major difference. And when you start selling in the market indirectly, what happens? Your receivables will go down, receivables will go up, investment in the receivables will increase, but there will be so many other benefits which will certainly outsmart or outweigh the investment in the accounts receivables. And if the company's product is excellent and at a very reasonable price, in that case even under indirect marketing also the accounts receivables level can be brought down. So ultimately we conclude here that accounts receivables are largely affected by the selection of the channel of distribution, and the company should decide it very carefully which channel of the distribution they should adopt or they should use, and they should sell the product in the market by following or by say through which channel of distribution. So I will stop here, and then the further discussion on the receivables we will carry on in the classes to come. Thank you very much.